NTSB investigators continue sifting through evidence as they work to confirm what exactly caused Sunday's deadly collision at LaGuardia Airport.
The runway remains closed tonight, and we're also learning more about the harrowing moments on board. Tim McNicholas live at LaGuardia now with the latest. Tim?
Christine and Jessica, the NTSB says it is working as fast as it can, and crews spent much of this afternoon removing debris that was hanging from the plane. They actually just, for the first time, moved the plane itself, so we could no longer see it right now. This runway is scheduled to reopen 7 a.m. Friday. That could be delayed, and adding to passenger frustration are those long security lines. Crews at LaGuardia began to pull the plane back late Wednesday afternoon, while travelers inside the airport at Terminal B waited more than 2 hours to get through general security. When you saw this line, what did you think?
I thought that I'm not going to make it to my flight for Fort Lauderdale.
You ever seen a line like this?
No.
Some of them had hoped to return home Monday or Tuesday, but couldn't due to cancellations. The NTSB spent Wednesday examining the plane and the Port Authority truck. Video and first-hand accounts from survivors are painting a clearer picture of the wreckage and the horror inside the plane.
I looked out the window. I wasn't sure, if this was it. I wasn't sure if the plane was going to spin out of control. These thoughts started to surface, like this might be the last moment that I have.
Passenger Rachel Mariotti credits the two pilots who died, Antoine Foray and Mackenzie Gunther, with saving the lives of everyone else on board.
I don't know how much your training covers running into fire trucks, but they saved us from not spinning out of control and not trying to avoid hitting the truck. So I keep thinking about them.
6 people from the plane are still in the hospital, down from 39 right after the collision. The NTSB is now investigating whether air traffic controller fatigue or staffing played a role. Investigators say there were 2 controllers working the midnight shift when air traffic control cleared both the plane and the truck for the same runway.
Flying is safe, but the human in the equation is probably the weakest link. Humans make mistakes. They're tired. They do things that they maybe didn't intend to do.
The midnight shift, as a reminder, is one that we have many times that the NTSB raised concerns about with respect to fatigue.
So if you take a look out here, you can see Port Authority trucks. We've seen them throughout the day today. But one thing we're no longer seeing again is the plane itself. Since Sunday night, really, you've been able to see the plane from this perch, from this area, but they just pulled it back. So we're not sure exactly where it went at this point. We're working to find that out. I can tell you that there have been 260 delays and 340 cancellations here at LaGuardia so far today. Christina, Jessica.
Tim, thank you. That video just gets you every single time you see it.
Absolutely. Let's get to the history of collisions and those close calls. CBS News found complaints from pilots dating back 3 decades.
Senior transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve joins us live with more on those past incidents. So, Chris, what kinds of complaints and safety concerns did you find that pilots made about LaGuardia?
Well, we, along with our CBS News data team, we're digging through 2 publicly available databases where issues get reported. One is an anonymous database where pilots and air traffic controllers can report incidents in the hopes of raising awareness about a safety issue. The other is an FAA database on runway close calls. And what we see is a number of examples where pilots are complaining about issues with communicating with air traffic control and describing some close calls with vehicles either on the taxiway or in several cases on the runway. One incident back in 2001, an A320 taking off, he looked down, saw flashing yellow lights, believes he cleared a snowplow by only 50 to 75 feet that was on the runway that shouldn't have been there. We see other examples of a fuel truck driving right at a plane that just didn't yield like it should have. And then complaints from pilots about either confusing air traffic control directions or directions coming from air traffic control at a time when they're focused on landing the airplane, communications issues like that. We looked through that FAA database of runway close calls. We found at least 132 incidents going back about 3 decades, 17 of them involving vehicles on or around a runway where they shouldn't have been. So it's not one a day, not necessarily one a year, but enough incidents where it certainly is worth looking at if you're the NTSB, if there is a systemic traffic control problem.
All right, Chris Van Cleve, thank you for joining us.